Morning. How is everyone today? Just gonna do a little Palo Santo smudging real quick. Mostly because I just really like the smell of it. So I'm still working on getting my setup here for you guys. And I think the curtain behind me is helping some, but we're not quite there yet. This morning I'm drinking iced green tea. Been having hot flashes all morning, so those are fun. All right, so sorry about yesterday. Just real quick, my daughter had an accident with one of her fur babies, and it was just kind of a hectic weekend, and unfortunately, he did not make it. So it was just kind of craziness for the weekend, so I apologize for that. I'm going to show you a couple of crystals that I just got. I got them yesterday, so I wanted to share them with you. And that's going to go into, I was thinking about what I was going to do for a live today. And I thought, I keep showing you guys all these crystals, but I haven't really touched at all about why I keep showing you guys all these crystals. I mean, I tell you what they're for and stuff, but, so we're going to just talk this morning on some just real basic crystal information. I had like 4 things I wanted to try to get in here for crystals, and I only got in 2. Other than that, I felt like it was going to either be too rushed or I was just going to run out of time. So I did narrow it to 2, so we'll work on the other 2 later on sometime, hopefully in this month. So the 5 stones that I got, let's see here. One of them is a Prisca-Cola, which again is another pretty blue stone. I don't know if you can kind of see it there. Maybe down here is a little better. I know. I have to fix the lighting for you guys. So Prisca-Cola is freedom, calling of the divine feminine, and you will realize that I am attracted to the blue ones, and a lot of them are either queen stones or divine feminine stones or priestess stones and things of that. Those are just the ones that I'm drawn to. So this doesn't mean when I show you the stone that you need to run out and buy the stone. That's not, I'm just showing you this is the stone. This is for finding your voice, which, you know, I've been doing these lives, and I still get nervous when I come on here every morning. So, you know, anything that's going to help me find my voice and determining my soul path. So that's just, you know, a good stone for me. And this is going to be your throat chakra, or it can also be your crown chakra. So pretty blue. This one really called to me. I love the violet colors as well. And we're going to go into the violets and the violet flame and all that stuff another time. But this one is huge. And again, I apologize for the lighting, guys. It's just a really nice. And it like literally fits right in the palm of my hand, which I love. But so this is a spirit seeker stone for your crown chakra and for awakening. Aids in exploring, reading, and opening the self to new ways of being and knowing. So again, this is just me on my spiritual path, and stones that are just what's calling to me right now. So those 2. The other 2 I bought because we're going to be doing, not me, Athena on Sage Goddess is going to be doing a Samhain event, and that is on the 30th, and I believe I've shared that to you. If not, I will double check and share it again, or if anybody just wants me to private message them the link, I can do that as well. But it was going to be working with 5 stones, and one of them was a quartz, which I already have, and then there was 4 more. So I've purchased 3 of them. The other one is in my shopping cart because I'm going to also be looking at purchasing the stones that is going to be needed for the full moon ritual. But I got all 5 of these stones for like less than $20. And then it came with a free perfume. But I want to make sure I'm telling you the story. All right. So this is, and I'm not going to say this correctly, Lux Allianite. Luxullianite. It's kind of a brown and black spotted. So this is going to be one of the stones that she's going to work with in her Samhain. And this is a stone of self-acceptance, emotional calm. So it balances turbulent emotions, brings understanding, clarity to accepting life's lessons. So that is why I purchased that one. This one is called Mukate Jasper. And again, I don't know if I'm saying these correctly, so I apologize. The beauty stone that brings eternal youth and facilitates graceful aging. Also promotes optimism, happiness, and sense of inner peace. And to me, it looks like a fancy piece of chocolate. And lastly, for the new stones I got today, this is a bud stone. Again, it's a nice big stone. It's a very pretty swirly green color. Again, it's another great stone, in my opinion, that if you were going to be meditating with it, it's a really nice one to hold right in your hand. And this is going to help assimilate ancient wisdom and activate deep healing. Used to facilitate healing work, helps channel messages about personal healing, and activates ancient wisdom for the past lives. So those are 3 of the 5 stones. Like I said, I already had the quartz, so I wasn't going to purchase another one. That's why I didn't purchase the whole kit, because I would be then purchasing items that I already had. So when she tells me everything that's in the kit, I go find the pieces that I need, because she always puts her perfume in there, and that always jacks the price up, because her perfumes are like $20 to $30. So that always jacks the price up of the kits. And a couple of the oils that are in her perfume are oils that I already purchased, that I have my own. So again, I'm just going to use my own and kind of make my own perfume. And maybe I'm thinking I might get creative and try to make my own grid for it as well. And if I do, I'll certainly share that with you. All right, so working with crystals, I've actively been working with crystals for about 3 months. Really starting to learn about them, purchasing them, buying the book, and things like that. I have 2 more books that are Athena's that are on order, but they haven't been released yet. So I'll be working with those as well as soon as they come out. But I've always been interested in crystals. I started kind of just touching base on crystals probably 3 or 4 years ago. My friend is really into crystals, and she, was kind of telling me about them, and so I found it interesting, but I wasn't really there yet. But that was my friend that was helping me with that. So I did purchase a few crystals a few years ago, and but I didn't really do anything with them. So now I've been actively working with them. But I've always been drawn to just rocks. I've always been the one to just stop and pick up, oh, this is a neat looking rock, this is a fun rock, this is a weird looking rock, and pick them up. And you'll see that I have, if you ever came to my house, you'll see that there's rocks just scattered around the house. There's rocks on the bookshelf, and there's rocks in the bathroom, and I don't know. But so the reason we work with crystals is because they have an energy. Everything has some sort of energy. Energy cannot be made, and energy cannot be destroyed. Energy can just be transferred. So every one of these crystals has... Hi, Tammy. No, let me see. Hi, Tammy. And so every one of these crystals has some sort of energy, some sort of vibration is, I think, a better word. for it, but it's an energy. But they all have some sort of vibration. Each one of them vibrates on a different energy scale, and that's why the energy scale has been placed with the energy scale of your chakras and things of that sort. So everything possesses energy, and the frequencies. So when you're working with a crystal, you're not taking its energy. You're not really absorbing its energy. I'm sorry, there's a fly that's like flying right in front of my face here. What you're doing is you're using the energy to alter your energy frequency. So if that doesn't make sense, again, just send me a message and I can certainly help. I had posted quite a ways back the scientific study on crystals, and I can certainly, make a comment on that and pop it back up to the top. So if anybody's interested in reading the scientific of all the vibrations and energies of the crystals, that is in there for you. So they all carry energies, and one of the biggest things that I don't think people realize is, so you walk into your local store, thrift store, metaphysical store, wherever, even just sometimes tourist gift shops and stuff will sell crystals. Everybody that has touched this crystal, their energy is, their intentional energies are kind of in here. And then, so if you bought it off Amazon, everybody that touched it from the time it was mined to the packing guy, to the post office guy, to, So whenever you receive a crystal, whether it was a gift or you purchased it, I always recommend that you cleanse them. Now, I will tell you, the ones that come from Sage Goddess are cleansed before they're packed, which is one of the reasons why, if you have ordered from Sage Goddess, you realize it takes a little bit to get your order. But that's because they do clear every crystal before they pack them. So I still recommend clearing them, just because, I think it's just a good idea to clear them. And so you're asking, what does clear them mean? So clear them, the easiest way is to just smudge them. So you're just gonna take your sage or your Paleo Santo stick, or an incense will work, and you're just going to just kind of run it through the smoke, and that is going to clear your crystal. So that's the easiest way. It takes like 2 seconds, and you just, can just run them through the flame here. Through the flame. Don't run it through the flame, through the smoke. And again, this has been lit I don't know how many hundreds of times already, and it's only one little corner that is burnt. And I love this because I leave it right here at my table, and so with the little lighter, and so I just light it, and it doesn't stay lit, which I like. So like with an incense, you light it and it just burns all the way down and it's gone. This, it kind of just keeps going out, which I actually like. So the easiest thing to do with cleansing or clearing a crystal is to just smudge it. There are a couple other different ways you can do that. So I'm going to go over them real quick. So there's clearing, and then there's charging your crystals. And there's a bunch of ways to do both of those. There's really no right or wrong way, in my opinion. There's no, some people tell you the only way to do it is to do them in water, or the only way to do it is to smudge them, or the only way to do it is moonlight. I don't believe that. You can clear them a couple of different ways. I think there will be a certain way that's going to call to you. I have 2 ways that I do mine, which is smudging, and I will talk about the other one in just 1 second. Real quick before that, though, there's basically 4 I don't want to say types, groups maybe of crystals. And again, crystals are hard to fit inside a box of any type or anything, but so there's basically a conductor crystal, an amplifier crystal, a generator crystal, and a directional crystal. Gemstones, minerals, whichever you prefer to call them. So, and again, I didn't really want to get into all that because it's just going to try to take too long. But again, if anybody wants information on that, I can certainly get it for you and send it to you. And, you know, maybe we can come back to it again. So each piece kind of serves a purpose. And so when I was showing you my crystals this morning that I had bought, you know, I said that this one was just, I was really drawn to it, where the other crystals I bought for an actual Samhain ritual. But this one just kind of called to me, and I think it was like $3 or $4. So I bought it. So don't necessarily pick your stones by price, and don't necessarily pick your stones just by, ooh, that one's pretty. But there's kind of a medium in there where you can say, okay, I'm really called to this stone. You know, like if you look at it and you walk around the store and you find out you come back to the same crystal and looking at it again, then it's calling you. So you'd want to probably get that if you can afford it. And especially when you're shopping in an actual store, because certain stones will definitely call out to you. When you're buying them online, it's a little harder to pick up, because I haven't really had that problem yet, but I've had other people say, I bought this stone and it don't do anything. It looked real pretty online and then it don't do nothing for me. And those stones, and my feelings on that is, you were meant to get that stone because you're going to help it find where it needs to go. So actually, that's not true. I did buy a stone. I bought a stone set, and when I bought the stone set, I got it home, and there was 5 stones in it, and one of the stones just really wasn't calling to me. The other ones did. And so I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now. I've already bought it. It came in the set. And I'm like, well, I'll just hold on to it. Maybe it'll call to me later. And I was just sitting there one night and I'm like, nope, I know where that stone needs to go. And it's been gifted and now has a new home. So, you know, sometimes that's just the way it works. So if you are called to a stone, or you purchase a stone and then you get it home and you're like, yeah, it's not really calling to me anymore, it's because you're the one that's going to find it, the home it needs to go to. But don't just go on, like I said, don't just go, oh, that's pretty, and buy it. You know, like I said, if you find you come back to it, or if you're online and you look at it and you go, oh, that's pretty, and then a few minutes later you're looking and you've come back to the same stone again, then I would suggest that that's calling to you and you would want to purchase it. So some of the basic reasons why we work with crystals. So the obvious one is healing. That is a big thing. A lot of different healers use crystals for themselves and for others. There's a lot of people out there that practice crystal healing. You can make an appointment and go and schedule and go have that done. Love, wealth, endings, beginnings, happiness, and spiritual growth, which is one of the biggest reasons that, for me, is why I started looking into the crystals, because when I started working with, you know, my spirituality and kind of realizing the path I wanted to be on, that's when I, you know, re-found crystals, I guess is the word. All right, so clearing out energies from your crystals. Like I said, you can use sage. It's really quick. It's really easy. You just, you know, you can use an incense. You can use a sage bundle. You can use anything like that. Some people use the sprays. I don't like to spray my crystals, but you certainly can. So there. So I've cleared that gemstone. And it's just a good thing when, like I said, when you purchase a stone and you get it home, that's usually the first thing I like to do is just try to, they're going to fall down today, is clear all of my crystals. Black kyanite, which is a stone you can purchase, automatically clears all stone energies. So that is good in one way, because if you have a black kyanite and you brought home some crystals, you can just throw them in a glass bowl and leave them there for a day or two and they'll be cleared. The other thing though is once you've done that, you need to remove your black kyanite from them because you don't want them to be constantly cleared. So once you've cleared them, I'm going to talk about the next step, but you don't want them to be constantly cleared. So once you've cleared it, if you've set it in the bowl with the black kyanite and you've left it, a day or so, then you want to make sure you've removed either the black kyanite from the bowl or the other stones from the bowl, or however you choose to do it. Another way that I like to clear my energies from my stones is under the full moon. So every month there is a full moon, and during that time I take all my crystals down to my bedroom where I have 3, 4, 5 huge windows at the end of my bedroom, and which I have a counter that goes the whole length of that. So all my crystals get laid out there. My bracelets, my rings, my necklaces, earrings, everything that I have goes on there and stays there for the 24 hours. So the moon is really just a great way to clear them. There's discussion, again, scientific discussion on do you really need to even do that, because the moon energy is so strong, it affects our oceans, it affects our physical being. Do we really need to take the crystals and lay them out in the sunlight, in the moonlight? And scientifically, the answer is no. They can be just wherever they are, and the moon is supposedly going to clear them. I like to take them and set them all out. Some people set them right outside. I don't. I have a lot of wildlife around here, and I have a feeling they disappear. Somebody would walk off with them, carry off with them, some little critter. So I don't set them outside. But I like to set them all out once a month and set them in the moonlight and know that the moon is shining directly on them. Unless we're having a really cloudy night, but I still do it anyway. It's just something I like to practice. But scientifically, they say you don't need to. That if I left them in their bowl on my shelf, that the moon is going to clear and charge them anyway. So again, I just tell people it's what you feel you want to do, what feels right for you. So I like that little practice of once a month going and setting them all out and knowing that they're, the moonlight is shining directly on them. You can use a grid as well to clear your stones. I haven't got into that yet. We're going to talk about grids, certainly, but, oh my goodness, it's saying it's time to go and I'm not even close to being done. I haven't worked with grids as far as actual, like, let me see here. I printed one off and I put it on our Facebook group. So this is a grid of the life flower, and so we're gonna talk about this soon. Like I said, I just can't fit it all in one day. But you can get a cleansing grid and form out your crystals in a grid and cleanse them that way. I think sometimes easy is better for me, fast, because I just have so much going on, and so the smudging is just one of my favorite, easiest ways to do it. But you can certainly do a grid. You'd want to work in groups of 4. So that would be like when we're going to do the Samhain ritual, we're going to have the quartz in the middle, and then we're going to have 4 stones that we're going to work with. But you can do 4 and then 4 like square and diamond. Basically, it would be north, east, south, and west would be your primary 4. And then if you wanted to grid another 4 in there, it would be northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So sorry, I'm going to kind of have to speed this up because I have to be at work on time today because we have a meeting. So you can use a charging stone. So there are a couple different stones that are charging stones. One is selenite and one is quartz. I do have a couple of quartz, so I could use those if I wanted. I have ordered a selenite wand, which I'm really excited. When it gets here, I'll definitely show you guys. So those are really good ways to clear them. So what you would want to do is, I don't have, just pretend this is actually my fluorite, but just say it was a smoky quartz. All I would do is set it so that it was touching. You could put it this way and set it on top, or you could just set it this way and do this. So my little fluorite quartz right here is in my little tray that I keep here for when I do readings. I have certain stones that sit right here when I do readings, and maybe I'll take a picture and show you that. So we've got the smudging, the full moon, the black kyanite, the grid, and a charging stone. So those are one of the ways. So then you kind of get into some of the other ways that people like to do it. And again, everybody's going to have their own way that's going to personally call to them. And, you know, when you go back, you'll find that these things are going to all tie in somewhere for you, which I find really interesting. One of the things you can do is you can use a plant. I am surrounded by plants. You can see there's one that's growing right over my head here. My whole kitchen behind me here is all plants. You can take a stone and you can place it right up to the root, the stem, the stalk, whatever kind of plant it is. You can just place it right there and leave it there for 24 hours. That's going to clear it. You know, that doesn't call to me. That doesn't really seem, but people do it. Quick note, if you have a plant that is not doing so well and you want to help it out, you would want to put some green aventurine into the plant, and that's going to help it grow faster and stronger and kind of come back from if it's not doing so good. Okay, so number 5 for clearing and charging stones. Again, this does not call to me just because it seems like too much work for me, but you can bury them. Yep, take them outside and bury them. Again, we have too many animals around here for me to do that, and I don't really have time to go outside and dig a hole and bury my crystals and then wait 24 hours and then go back outside and unbury them and then have to wash them. And again, if you're somebody that loves to plant, you have a lot of flower gardens, and you're always outside and you're digging and playing in the dirt, maybe this is a perfect way for you to incorporate that into your daily practices. So again, just because it's not my recommended way doesn't mean it's not yours. So I know I have people out there that love to do planting and stuff, and maybe this is a good way for them to do that. I've also heard people say that you can actually, if you have flowers inside, you can bury them in the flower pots and it will have the same effect. Again, that's, really, if you feel that, then go with that. I feel that it needs to be, if you're going to use that method, you'd want to actually do it outside the actual earth. But again, whatever feels right for you is how you'd want to do it. The last way that I have listed here for cleansing your crystals is water. Now, there's a lot of people that say, no, don't do it that way. But there's a lot of people that say that's the only way to do it. So, again, it's really what calls to you. One of the ways to do it in water is if you had like a metal colander strainer, you could put all your crystals in it, and then you would take it to the lake, an ocean, a brook, a stream, somewhere where you could set the colander in it and just let the water kind of naturally move over the crystals. And again, you'd want to do that, they say 24 hours. And again, to me, that's just like, first of all, I don't really have someplace that I could do that and leave them for 24 hours without the fear that somebody was going to take them or anything. I don't have a brook in my backyard. If you're lucky enough to have a little brook or stream in your backyard and you want to try this, go ahead. But my one warning is there are a lot of crystals out there that do not like to be wet. So if you want to do that and you have crystals that you want to do that with, I recommend that you can send me a message and I'll look into it for you and tell you, yes, that's okay, or no, it's not okay. Or again, you can just Google it. The answers are right there on the internet. Just be prepared that if you do that, you are going to get a lot of that, again, that say don't ever do it, and some say that's the only way to do it. So just go with what feels right for you. If you wanted to do water and you really didn't have, like me, I don't have a brook or a stream or, a lake, pond, whatever in my backyard to do that. And so you can go and buy distilled water, or you could go and get water from one of those sources. So if you had a lake that you go to and you wanted to bottle some of the lake water and bring it home and do this at home, you can do that. One of the suggestions that I would make is that if you do that, whenever you do that, for any kind of water that you get naturally, lakes, ocean, brooks, streams, anything like that, or if you go out and actually buy distilled water and want to do it, is to make sure that that water goes back outside. Okay, you don't want to pour it down your sink. You don't want to pour it into the septic. You want to take it back outside. Because when you're clearing those energies and you're clearing out the other intentions or that may have been set on that stone, you want to send them back to Mother, to the earth, and she's going to take them back to the core, and she's going to transfer them and send them back out. So that's one of my beliefs. And again, if that's not yours, that's fine. And if the waterway is not calling to you, because to me it's a little bit more time consuming, it's a little bit more work, and so I have a very busy schedule and have lots of stuff that I do, so the smudging just is really quick and easy for me. So that was pretty much the quick lesson on clearing and charging your crystals. If anybody has any questions, I know I kind of went over that fast. I usually try to keep it to 2 pages of notes, and I ended up with 3 pages of notes today, and still didn't cover everything I wanted to cover. So we're going to talk about some crystals some more in the next month. I also got some things that we're going to talk about for the full moon, and some stuff that we're going to talk about for Samhain, which you guys would better know as Halloween. It is one of my favorite holidays. That and Yule, which Christmas. Those are my 2 favorites. So we're going to do some lives on Samhain. And I posted some pictures this weekend of some crafting that I did. There was an altar candle that Sage Goddess was selling, and it was like $20, $30, I think. And I didn't really have $20 or $30 to spend on a candle. She also had a perfume in there. And so again, I had a candle, and I had some paint, and I had some ribbon in my trunk that I keep with all my crafting stuff, and I just pulled them all out, and it took me just a few minutes, and I made myself my own little altar candle for Samhain. So that was fun, and it had my own little personal touch. I had found an old skeleton key, who knows when, and put it in the trunk, and I thought, well, someday I'll use this for something, so I tied it on the candle. So there's all kinds of things you can do like that. If you don't necessarily have to buy the things that are on there. Sometimes just seeing some of the things that other people do will help you find your own creative side and make something for yourself that's a little bit more personable. Same with the perfume. So she, you know, had said what the notes were that she had put in her perfume, and they were notes that I had all except for one of them, but I just kind of made my own. So I took a coconut oil, and I took the other ingredients that she had, and which was, I think, patchouli and eucalyptus, and I can't remember what else, but I made up my own, and that's what I'm wearing this morning. I wish you could smell. All right, so that's that. I really do have to go. We will be back actually tomorrow. So it's going to be a little weird because we're going to do another one tomorrow. But that was because my schedule had to be flopped a little bit here, and I apologize for that. But so remember, be kind. Everybody has something going on in their life. So even if they're being annoying and ticking you off, you know, maybe they've had a bad day, and maybe your kind word will change that for them too. So spread the love. Thanks, ladies. Have a good day.